Good morning, this is Michael Gray from Gray Wolf's SEO blog, and today I'd like to talk to you about optimizing your WordPress blog or making it more search engine friendly. I love WordPress. It's one of my favorite content management systems, but one of the biggest problems with WordPress is it puts content all over the place in a lot of duplicate spots, and if you're not really careful about how you structure and build it, you can end up creating a nightmare for yourself with putting the same content in 5, 6, or 7 different locations. So I've put a little whiteboard up here, and hopefully I can help make things a little bit simpler for you. Okay, the reason we really need to be concerned about where things are in a WordPress blog is because of this guy right here, Mr. Googlebot. Now, Google will tell you that they can figure things out, and if things are in multiple spots, they'll come along and they'll make it right. That's not always the case in my experience. I like to think of Googlebot as sort of like your little 3-year-old niece or nephew. The simpler and the easier you make things for them, the easier time they're going to have. For example, if you tell them you're going to always put away their toys in the toy chest, they're going to always know if they want a toy to go to the toy chest. If you're going to tell them their toys could be in the toy chest, or it could be in the bookshelf, or it could be in mommy or daddy's room, they're not always going to know where to find it, and they're going to have to make a guess. So what you really want to do is you want to structure things in an easy to understand way for Mr. Googlebot here, so that it knows where things are and where things want them to be. You don't want Mr. Googlebot to try and guess where it thinks your content is. So what we're going to have here is we have an imaginary blog called the Movie Blog. And under our movie blog we have 3 different categories. We have comedy, we have drama, and we have action. Underneath each of our 3 categories we have the individual movies. One of the first things that you want to do to make sure that you don't get a lot of duplicate content is try and keep things in only one particular category. So even though something may be a comedy and some other type of movie, choose the one single category that makes the most sense for it and try and keep it there. This way Google will only find that particular content in one particular area. What that does is that sort of sets up a siloing or a theming or a pyramid structure, so that Google says, okay, this is a particular area that this section is only about action movies. I got that. That makes sense. It helps Google understand things. The second thing that you want to do is when you're posting, there's a little feature called the More feature. What that does is that tells you where you want the post to break. So everything above the More appears on the home page, and everything after the More only appears on the individual page. You want to use the More in almost every post so that just the barest amount of information is coming out and is on the main section. This way all of the main content is actually only available inside of the full post. Again, this is just another way that you can keep the bulk of the content from being duplicated in multiple spots. Now, sometimes it may be necessary for you to say, let's say you have multiple authors on this blog, like someone, your author's name is Jane, and you like to highlight Jane's special picks, or you have other authors and they want to highlight their picks, or you want to talk about the top movies of the month in a particular category. That's something that makes sense for the users. But what's going to happen is you're going to create duplicate content with your individual movies being listed over here under action, comedy, and drama, and under each of these individual sections right over here. So what you can do is put them in these sections, and what you use your robot.txt file to block those particular sections from Googlebot over here. We want to keep him from getting confused. So what you've done is you said, okay, this content exists here, it's in a good spot for my users and they can get to it, but it's not being, the Google comes to it and says, uh-oh, I can't get in, and it goes away. The same thing happens with WordPress. WordPress creates these things that are the page archives, and they archive things by particular date also. Those are other categories that you want to block from Google so that they can't get in and they're only accessing it through your main section. This way you're developing a nice little silos, little topics, little themes. That's the only way that Google can actually get in there. I hope this has helped clear you up, and maybe it can help you fix some of your WordPress installs. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Again, this has been Michael Gray from Gray Wolf's SEO blog, located at wolf-howl.com.